ladies and gentlemen, welcome to 2X Monster Trucks Live, proudly presented by Western Riddles and Moss Brothers Auto Group. As Bobby said, my name is Brett Mason. I'm from Omaha, Nebraska. I'll take you through all the action tonight. Are you ready to meet the stars of our show? Let me start off by introducing to you our two freestyle motocross jumpers. Our first one comes from St. George, Utah. Give it up for Chandler Hayter. And from sunny San Diego, California, Ripper Ray. And now I'll introduce you to the trucks and the drivers. Starting on the left, this gentleman hails from Vacaville, California. In that bright green, playing for keeps truck, welcome Tony Canedo. And now we're going to jump all the way down to your right and introduce you to his son-in-law, driving enforcer, also from Vacaville, California. Make some noise for Brandon Galley. I'm finding a theme here with California, so we'll go to this next California kid. Ladies and gentlemen, he crewed for us for a long time, and last year when we did this show, Jimmy Cretin said, hey, let's let the kid have a chance. And he put him in the seat of his own truck, and he drove for the first time right here in San Bernardino. Welcome our California kid, Corey Kino and Jekyll. Now as I move down to the left, ladies and gentlemen, we've got two trucks that are super popular with the kids, and we decided to put in some audience participation. So, Griffin, if you would, show them what happens when Jaws comes out. Because boys and girls, when this truck comes out, you're going to show them your shark bite, and Roy, you're going to make a lot of noise for the Minnesota man. Dan Dahlgren, shark bite! And to his right, we have another truck that requires some audience participation. You're going to get your T-Rex claws out, and you're going to roar as loud as you can for the boy from Jonesboro, Illinois, Logan Tweedy and Roaring Rex. And last but not least, ladies and gentlemen, this man hails from Tonganoxie, Kansas. He has two Monster Jam World Champion titles, one in racing, one in freestyle. He's driven a truck for 30 years, and we brought out a special body celebrating the 30th anniversary. Make some noise for Jimmy Cretin and the Bounty Hunter. Enforcer. His RII tested. Here he comes, playing for keeps. Frosty water. Great big vertical wheelie, coming down hard on the wheelie bar, slapping it out into the pit area, giving the dinosaur a little kiss. And the crew out taking a look at the truck, and they're shutting them down. Got a feeling that was too hard of a landing, but we're about to find out if he's going to make his second hit or not. Right. So now it's time for us to do the cheer off. Go back and think about how each truck jumped and performed their two-wheel skills. In my happy little hands here, I have a decimeter that measures the applause. Bobby, what are you doing, Bobby?
Apparently they don't trust you a whole lot.
Yeah?
Because they just asked me to come out here and make sure you do this right.
Make sure I'm being honest?
Yep.
Okay, well, that's why I use the decimeter, but I understand. I understand.
Yep.
All right. We're going to do it fair. All's fair. All right, decimeter's ready. Folks, let's hear it for Roaring Rex. He's got an 86. How about Enforcer? 91. Jekyll and Hyde. 94. Playing for keeps. 92. Shark Bite. 98. He's got the lead now, Bobby. We didn't want to, I guess, hear you. I don't know what's going on with the microphone there, Bobby, but we have one more truck to judge, and it is Jimmy Cretin and the Bounty Hunter. Well, his one hit was not enough. Your two-wheel skills champion is Dan Dahlgren and Shark Bite. Logan Tweedy roaring ready. Ladies and gentlemen, 2xtreme Trucks Live! Holy smokes! Now the pressure's on you to determine our freestyle champion this evening. First off, let's hear for Jimmy Creighton and the Bounty Hunter. Brandon Galley, Enforcer. Logan Tweedy, Warren Rex. Dan Dahlgren, Sharkbite. Tony Canedo playing for keeps. Corey Keinel, Jekyll and Hyde. His first time driving a monster truck was right here last year. Your champion, Corey Keinel, Jekyll and Hyde. Let me tell you, that was close too. I mean, that was probably the most awesome freestyle I've seen all year.
Dude, I came into this show, so much emotion. I mean, growing up, I never thought I'd be driving a monster truck, I watched my dad do it for years with that man in that bounty hunter truck, and it just means the world to me to be able to come out here and, throw it out for him. I was having a rough show coming into it, 2-wheel didn't go too great, racing didn't go right. I figured I had to throw it out for freestyle. I gave that truck everything I got, just for that old man in the stands, for my mom, for my brother, for my sister, for that man in that bounty hunter truck, for this whole crew. I mean, everybody's fighting it out here. Asphalt's not easy. It's definitely not easy to drive on, and all these drivers are phenomenal, and they all killed it. Like I said, it's just emotional. Beyond emotions, I have no words right now. At 19 years old, I was able to pull up a freestyle win in my hometown with my dad in the stands and with this whole team. I got an awesome crew behind me. It wouldn't be possible without this whole crew. And I got Dan, I got Jimmy, I got Logan, Nugent, Cam, Jerry, Tyler, everyone, the Brett, Bobby, this whole thing wouldn't be possible without these people, our ride truck people. I got Paul, our merch people, front of the house. It wouldn't be possible without them. It wouldn't be possible without you guys. It wouldn't be possible without the sponsors. Just beyond amazed. I appreciate you guys for everything. And thank you guys.